Hey now, and welcome to the City Off Campus podcast with your two favorite hosts, Sammy Sommerfeld and Jack McFarland. We are back with Patrick McCaffery this week, post Big Ten tournament, pre-NCAA tournament run. Patrick, how's 24-hour quarantine going in the NCAA bubble?
Bro, it's kind of nuts. Like, it doesn't feel super weird because we've kind of been quarantined like all year, like in a sense. But it's but it's different because like if we're in Iowa City, like I have my car. Like if I want to go do something, like I can. I just got to be safe about it or whatever. But like in this, like you literally I'm sure I could. Like nobody's. It's not like somebody's standing outside of my door, like making sure I don't walk out. So if I really wanted to walk out of my room, I could walk out. But like I don't know where I would go. So it's like we're really like on lockdown here. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so for the next month, are you guys basically literally confined to the hotel where it's like you guys cannot leave, walk around, do absolutely anything?
I think there will be times where like we can go because like they have a weight room, so we're lifting tomorrow. Like they have a convention center where we're gonna practice. So we practice today. Like we practice in like an hour, and then like I don't know what activities they would have for us to do like outside at this point. I'm assuming that they'd have something because like you can't just keep us inside for however long we're gonna be here. So I would think that they have something supposed to do outside. Like yesterday before we were in like the bubble for real, like we went and played wiffle ball, so that was really fun. So like yeah, I would hope that we get to do more things like that, like so we're not completely confined to this space, but who knows?
So important question then, who won wiffle ball? Like what were the teams? Who hit the
My
most home
team
runs?
won.
How did
It
it
was
go?
me. It was so not everybody got to play because a couple of the guys were in study hall. So my team was me, Connor, Jordan, Chris Murray, and Wieskamp. And then Brad Floyd, the trainer, was the all-time pitcher. And then the other team was Ash, Michael, Luca, Keegan, and the strength coach, Coach Maxwell.
So did anyone strike out during wiffle ball? Was
Yes. I will not be naming who, but yes,
oh
some people did strike out. I can tell you it was not me. I did not strike out, but yes, some people did strike out.
and I'm assuming it's not Connor, right? Because he's like, also on the Iowa
Yeah,
baseball team. So
I
And
would hope not.
I'm assuming it's not Ash because if it was, we would have known it was Ash.
Yeah,
So we've
no,
already eliminated three
Ash
names.
had a really good day yesterday. Ash was a good wiffle ball player yesterday. He was really good. He carried their team for sure.
So are you guys not able to even hang out in each other's rooms?
Not during this quarantine period, but we will be able to like when it's over. I would think because it's not like I
Yeah.
said, it's not like there's like a person outside every room. Like if I really wanted to walk across the hall and go into whoever's room, I don't think anybody would stop me.
did any of the guys bring anything to like keep them busy? Like
Well, I have my PS4. I haven't hooked
Okay.
it up yet, but I have it. And then like a lot of other guys brought like their PS4s, Xboxes, whatever,
Yeah.
just to keep them occupied.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of 2K grinds.
Bro, yeah, a lot of 2K, a lot of Fortnite.
You
lot
still play
of-
Fortnite?
You said what?
You still play Fortnite?
Bro, I love Fortnite.
I can't
horrible.
see like all right, because I am too, and I can't. I feel like there's a skill gap between me, 21-year-old, and like a 12-year-old. I really feel like there's a skill gap now, and there's kids on there that just kick my ass. I
No,
don't know
there
how you do it.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
100%. I am terrible. I try not to think about like who I'm playing against when I'm playing Fortnite. Like I try not to think like this 10-year-old just absolutely just fucked me up. But like because like I'm horrible, bro. Like I am so bad. Like so it's like I just kind of play just like mainly just to like just hang out with my friends, like kind of like virtually, I guess. Like because like we just play and most of the time we just like kind of shoot the shit, whatever, just talk the whole time anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, dude, it's fun. I love Fortnite.
So how long like have you officially been in this like NCAA quarantine almost?
I think I'm on, what time is it? 3:16. I would say probably since like I think we had testing last night, like right after the selection show. So
Okay.
then like we went pretty much straight from like testing, which was right after the selection show, like I just said, and then like straight to our rooms. And then we got to leave our rooms for testing this morning. We had testing at 8:30 this morning, and then came back up. We just had a Zoom meeting, which is weird because we're all on the same floor. Like we're all within like 50 feet of each other.
Is anyone
So
like banging on the wall, like
no,
next to
yeah,
someone's
literally,
room?
like yeah. So it's like we're all like on the same floor. So it's weird that we had a Zoom meeting, but we did because we're supposed to, whatever, just because like we had to go over stuff. And then yeah, but that's pretty much it. And I think it's once we get our second negative test. So once our test results come back from this morning, we'll be good to go.
So who are your neighbors for the next month?
CJ Frederick is to the right of me, and I think Chris Murray is to the left of me. And Keegan Murray is right across the hall. Like I think J-Bo's next to CJ. Like we're all right around each other.
So how has quarantine food been in the bubble so far?
Horrible. Yeah, no, it's like the first meals that we got, like I didn't even go pick up the bag they gave us for breakfast today. I have like my own stuff.
Yeah.
But like for dinner last night, thank God somebody had like a cheesesteak left over because we had Jersey Mike's earlier in the day. So somebody had cheesesteak, so I ate that for dinner. And like so I ate my dinner, and I ate part of my dinner and part of my lunch today. But like it's I'm not gonna lie, it's not very good. So like I just kind of like half-heartedly ate it. I ate the salad because it's hard to screw up salad. Just throw a bunch of ranch on there and you're okay. I'm okay with that. But then like it's like the other stuff was weird.
You guys, oh, you're good.
Hold on, I'm getting a call. My bad. What's up, KD?
Hey, Mac, what's up? Hey, couple questions for you.
All right, let me hear them.
For your birthday, cake flavor, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Vanilla. Icing flavor, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Yeah. Do you have a gluten allergy?
I do not.
No. All good. Thank you.
All right, thanks, KD.
Yep.
Yeah, I turned 21 in the bubble. Like I'll turn 21 the day of our first game, so that's fun. But yeah, that's what that call was about.
And
Wow,
Jack's
what
about
a-
to say we're leaving that in.
What a memorable 21st, seriously, to be like in the bubble. Like the most stereotypical 21st is to get absolutely like shit cocked, but you can't. Like you're in the bubble at the NCAA tournament, so but it will be even more memorable being with all your teammates and whatnot. So that's
I mean, like I get to play, like, because at the end of the day, like if you think about it, like I've been dreaming about playing the NCAA tournament my whole life, and like I get to do that on my 21st birthday. Like that's pretty cool. So it's like I'm not super upset about it, and then save myself a headache.
For real.
Yeah.
So back to the food though, real. So what has been the things that you've like avoided? Like what have been the options? Have you guys gotten like a wide variety of options, or has it been like 2 or 3 options where that's all you get?
But previously it hasn't been that bad. Like during the Big Ten tournament, because so we've been in the same hotel the whole time. So during the Big Ten tournament, we like the food was okay. It's like normal hotel food. Like I kind of know what to eat and what not to eat. Like I usually stick with pasta because it's hard to screw up pasta and like marinara sauce. So it's like I usually stick with that. Like if there's mashed potatoes, I'll eat that. Like chicken soup, like stuff like that. But then like this food was a little different because like they delivered it to our room, so it's like they had to like take our order and stuff. And like by the time it got here, like it just was kind of just not very good. Like I got like chicken, it was like rice, like green beans, like stuff like that, and it just was not great.
Is there a vending machine on your floor at least?
No, but we have snacks. Like our trainer has a bunch of snacks, so it's like I have snacks too. Like I said, like I had leftover Jersey Mike's, so it's like I just have to stuck it up for a little bit here.
So, conference tournaments and obviously the NCAA tournaments are known for giving the athletes who participate goodie bags, gifts, and other memorable stuff. What have you received so far?
We actually got some pretty cool stuff. We didn't get anything for the Big Ten tournament, but for the NCAA tournament, we got like we got a box and it had like not a plaque, but like something like I can like hang up like over my door, like in my room, like stuff like that. So like that's cool. Like it's a March Madness thing. Like we got like March Madness masks, obviously. We got like a March Madness hoodie. We got like a flag. We got like a towel. And then they also gave us like in one of the bags, they gave us like 5 sticks of deodorant. Like literally deodorant for like a year. And then like they gave us like shampoo, conditioner, and like body wash because we're gonna be here for a while. So it's like we don't just have to use the hotel stuff over and over. So like there was a whole bag just like full of like stuff like that, and it's like, and there was like disinfecting wipes, and if you don't like the stick deodorant, they gave us the spray deodorant. So it's like stuff like that. And then I'm trying to think what else we got. Like, oh, they gave us John Thompson's book. That's all I can remember off the top of my head. They gave us some socks. Like, so it's like it was pretty cool stuff. I was a fan.
So are you going to finish the John Thompson book by the time you're done with the tournament? Is that the goal?
To be honest, like I'm not really like a book reader. I'm more so like, if I was gonna do anything, I'd try to listen to it. Like I think that's easier.
Well, I was going to say, like, I think your challenge should be when you're not hooping or not playing 2K is I want a John Thompson quote once a week.
Okay.
Every chapter.
Yeah, no, I can try that. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but if I come back on, I'll try that.
Okay, so Selection Sunday I want to talk about yesterday. You know, obviously you guys got together as a team to watch it. Like I'm sure it was probably cool to just be with the guys and stuff. But were you guys kind of like, we know where we're going to be? Like, did you kind of know that you were going to be seeing that too?
We knew we were pretty much locked as a 2. We didn't know like where on the 2 line we would be, but we knew like we were going to be a 2.
So
what was your knee-jerk reaction when you saw Grand Canyon as the team that you guys are facing of all teams? Like I personally would not expect March Madness to start and then like that 15 CT like to be Grand Canyon. Like that's just completely out of left field in my opinion. I never saw it coming. Like
if we're a 2 seed, like I knew that the 15 was going to be like a school like Grand Canyon, like it was like going to be like Grand Canyon or like Oral Roberts or stuff like that. And it's like, I mean, like I'm sure some people can look at Grand Canyon at the beginning and be like, oh, like Grand Canyon, like what? But it's like, I mean, Bryce Drew's their coach. He's a really good coach. Like he's a proven coach. Like they have good players. They have experience. And like at the end of the day, like this was the point, because like my dad is somebody who's like really like my dad spent most of his career coaching mid-major teams. Like he spent most of his career as like a 13, 15, 16, 9, 8. Like, so it's like he knows what it's like to be in that position. So it's like at the end of the day, like this is a point that I think really stuck with a lot of people on our team was like they won their way into this tournament. Like
and now Patrick froze.
Hey, this is all the NCAA's fault. We're going to keep all of this in. This is all of their fault. They don't have the control on anything. The Wi-Fi, the testing, the food situation, that's can't do that. And then the deodorant, give them something else. Like
I know,
I'm surprised there wasn't even
give them good Wi-Fi.
I'm surprised there wasn't a fidget spinner in that bag.
For real. I mean, all the time they're gonna be wasting sitting on like on their computers and phones waiting for the internet to load.
Of all things that you should have had figured out, like I feel like this year has taught everyone you kind of need internet to do things now when you don't leave and you do anything face to face. So to not have good Wi-Fi in Indianapolis for these guys is fucking inexcusable. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss of words. I think we should just get rid of the NCAA and have someone else host this tournament.
Yeah, let's let Dave Portnoy host it.
Speaking of that was funny. There were little rumblings of like Barstool. They said it on Pardon My Take. I think I was listening to today's episode, and they were like, "Yeah, why don't we just have like a COVID invitational for all the teams that got COVID and couldn't do it, and they all just have COVID on the floor and play."
So currently we have 2 things of Patrick. We have actual Patrick moving Patrick, and we have frozen Patrick.
Yeah, sorry about that, fellas. I don't know what's going on.
No,
it's not your fault.
Yeah, it's the NCAA.
It's all their fault.
So talking about Grand Canyon, one thing, not to cut you off, you can finish in a second, is, a lot of people are super, I obviously think, we'll be okay against Grand Canyon, but, they have the number 1 defensive team in their conference. Like, they know how to play basketball. And I think that's one thing people underestimate whenever there's a 15 seed. Like, I grew up with FGCU basketball, Dunk City. They were a 15 seed, and they went to the Sweet 16. So that's the best thing about March Madness is anybody can win.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I think something that is also really important and people don't always take into account is like, well, like the point I was making, like they won their way to get here. Like, it's not a fluke that they're in the tournament. And it's like a lot of these teams, like, unless they just got hot at the right time, like, they like Grand Canyon. I don't know their exact record off the top of my head, but I know they were 9-3 in their league and then won their conference tournament. So it's like a lot of these teams, like they have winning DNA. Like they win, they beat who they play. Granted, like their schedule is different than like ours or whatever, but like winning DNA is something that like you need to take into account. And it's like these teams, like they know how to win. Like by no means are they like a team that we can overlook or whatever. And it's like, especially in this tournament, you never know what's going to happen. So it's like you just got to take it one game at a time and handle it that way.
Is there a little bit of anxiousness right now going on with you guys where you don't play till Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there like just kind of like the jitters of like you just want to be out on the court already, like experience the first game? Like, are you guys kind of just like we have to get through the week, or is it kind of like you're using the week to really game plan, get ready? Like, what's your schedule looking like? How have you guys been feeling now that you know what seed you are and who you're playing?
No, yeah, I mean we feel good, and I feel like we have a really experienced team. Like J-Bo, Luca, Connor, those guys have seen it all. They've played in the NCAA tournament. They've played in Big Ten tournaments. They've played they've done it all. So it's like they kind of know what to expect. So it's like I don't think there's really anxiousness from them at that point. And like the Big Ten tournament we were just in was a grind. So it's like okay, like give us some time to kind of recharge our batteries, rest our bodies, so we can really kind of put forth our best like going into the NCAA tournament.
And touching on the Big Ten tournament, you guys beat Wisconsin, which was a good win. It was a nice little 3-0 sweep against them this season. And then obviously it was a battle against Illinois. Coming out of the Big Ten tournament, what have you guys kind of taken away from that experience, and how are you trying to build off of it, even though you didn't reach the goal you guys were hoping to reach with the Big Ten tournament?
Well, if we're being honest, Illinois is playing as good as anybody in the country right now. I would take Illinois over pretty much everybody at this point. And we were right there with them. And we didn't really we didn't really play all that well. And you have to give them some credit for that. But also we just didn't play. I don't think we played as good as we can play. But I feel like we're definitely trending kind of in that direction of where we can get to that point where we can start playing our best basketball. Because I think that's something I think we've shown flashes of how good we can be. And I think there's been games where we've played really good games or whatever. But I don't think I don't know. Well, I would hope that we haven't played our best basketball yet. So it's because at the end of the day, we were right there with them, and they're as playing as well as anybody in the country right now. I would take them over just about anybody. So it's just kind of we know where we stand in that regard, and we know what we need to work on, and it's a learning experience. And there's a chance we could see them again. So it's something that we can just kind of keep building toward and just kind of try to build off. But right now, we just need to worry about Grand Canyon and how we're going to beat those guys.
What's your schedule looking like for this week? So what are you guys kind of doing the next couple of days? Training preparation wise, so on.
So we'll have meetings we usually have we'll have several meetings a day, probably 2 or 3. We have practice at 4:30, so in an hour, because I'm an hour ahead of you guys. We have practice at 4:30, so that'll be good to kind of get out there and run around and just kind of touch a basketball, because it's been a day it's been a day and a half. So it's just kind of it'll be good to kind of do that and kind of get our legs back underneath us, because we needed these couple rest days. So I think those were big for us. But so that'll be good. And then tomorrow, we'll have a meeting. We'll have another meeting tonight. We'll have dinner, everything and we'll introduce Grand Canyon at some point. And then tomorrow we have COVID testing in the morning. And then I think we have a lift tomorrow. I think they have it set up to where they have racks and stuff like that. So we're going to be able to get lifts in, and so we'll get a lift and then practice again and meetings and everything like that. So it'll be a pretty busy stuff. But I think the morning is more so reserved for classes and everything like that.
Do you guys have a team motto, phrase, or mantra that you guys are kind of rolling with for this run, an inner thing that you guys are kind of saying, or there are great championship winning teams like the Chicago Cubs in 2016, Jack, that have had mottos and mantras where they go on and win it all.
Sam, we'll literally be dead the next time the Cubs win it, so I really couldn't care less.
Give us a couple of years.
Wait, hold on, I'll answer your question in a sec. But you're from Florida, but you're a Chicago sports fan. How does that work?
So I'm originally from Chicago. So when I was young, we lived there. And
Okay.
Yeah. So right when I started to like Chicago sports and stuff, like my first baseball game ever was at Wrigley Field when I was young and everything. So right when we moved was like right when I became a huge sports fan.
When did you move? How old were you?
I was 5 or 6. And I was like already bought into sports, like sports junkie at that point.
How'd you end up at Iowa?
I mean, so my dad went to Iowa, so I had that. And then obviously Big Ten sports can't really beat that. And then Iowa City kind of sold me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was just wondering like what your ties to Iowa, but that makes sense. I understand. Yeah. But as far as a mantra goes, like I don't know if we have anything specific that we say. But like things like that I think are kind of come up organically and I think could have eventually develop into something. And so it's like I don't think we have anything exactly right now, but I think our biggest thing, is just one game at a time. I think that's what's really important, especially in this tournament, because it's like we have to win 6 games in a row. So it's like, okay, like if you look at that, like, well, that's a lot of games. But it's like if we just take it one game just try to win one game at a time and just kind of take it one possession at a time and do things like that. And I think that if we do that, it's in our best interest and we could have our best product.
Yeah, for sure. And Jack, before you go, I just wanted to quickly say the last podcast me and Jack did, I ended the podcast by basically interviewing Jack. And now it was flipped on me where Patrick interviewed me for a minute.
Yeah.
Full circle moment right there.
That is true.
Everybody's getting interviewed.
Something I just did this morning, just like it was right after I woke up. I was just like, let's go take a look at some of the best like Cinderella stories that we've ever like seen while growing up. And the first one that I had from 2010 was 9 seed UNI beating 1 seed Kansas. And I guess I took it for granted, but being 10 years old, holy shit, that was really insane. And I never really I guess just being like a kid that just took for granted. And then that happens. And then that was pretty sweet. But I don't think anything beats what happened this past year with Virginia losing to UMBC and then for them to come back and win the Natty the coming year. Like this is totally March. Like it is not the most March thing ever for that to happen.
Dunk City's the best one by far. They beat number 2 seed Georgetown, then they beat San Diego State. And they made the Sweet 16. They were 15.
I haven't heard from them since. What are your favorite memories, Patrick, from March Madness growing up? Whether it's Cinderella or just a certain player in March Madness or like a performance.
Well, I mean, so okay. A lot of my years growing up, like I grew up in Iowa, but like a lot of my years growing up, I lived in Albany, New York, and Jimmer Fredette was from Albany, New York. So I would say probably first like March Madness player to come to mind is Jimmer Fredette. Like I thought he was a beast. But I would say my favorite like March Madness moment specifically were a lot of my dad's teams at Siena. If we're being honest, like because I don't think people realize like how good those teams were, and we've talked about that on this pod before. But like they beat Ohio State the one year in the 8-9 game, and then they had Louisville, who was number 1 overall seed that year. Louisville had like Samardo Samuels, Terrence Williams, and like Siena, we were up like 4 at the under 4. We ended up losing. I think there was a questionable call, if I remember right, but like we had Louisville on the ropes. So it's like I would say those are probably my favorite memories, and then also like. I know it sounds biased, but like the Iowa games, like the Woodbury's tip-in, like I would say like the Tennessee game, even though they lost, like they came back from being down however much, and that was a really fun game to be a part of and everything like that. Like so I would say those are probably some of my favorites, but I'm trying to think of like my like non-biased ones. I can't really like. I would say, I would just Jimmer Fredette was one of my favorite players just because he was from the same area that I was, and then also like guys like Taylor Battle who played at Penn State. I don't know if you guys remember who he is, but like he coaches at Penn State now. He's one of the assistants, but he's the all-time leading scorer there, and he was somebody who was also like from that area and somebody I kind of grew up around. So like I would say those two guys were some of my favorite players growing up, like in March Madness, besides like my dad's players.
And speaking of your dad, today it was announced he got a contract extension through like 2027, 2028. So he's going to be in Iowa for a lot longer. as his son, but also as a player and just being around the team, like when that kind of came out and you guys knew that was in the works, like, were you just kind of like happy to see that like what you guys have built and what you guys are doing right now is just kind of going to continue to grow and see that hope, success hopefully be sustained over years to come?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously really cool. I think it kind of is a relief to the players because it's like, okay, he's not going anywhere. It's like a relief to the recruits because a lot of kids like will sign in different schools or whatever, and they don't know the coach is on a contract year, and if they don't make the tournament or they don't do whatever, he's going to get fired. So they're going to go into college with a new coach, like that sort of thing. So I think like, okay, his contract's for 2028. So it's like that sets some stability here. Like I think that's something that recruits need to look at, like as opposed to other schools where like their contracts are different. And I think obviously, I think Mr. Barta does a really good job of this, and he's done the same thing I think with football and Coach Ferentz, and then basketball too with Coach Bluter. Is like he's been really like consistent, and it's like I feel like a lot of different teams like they want like success now or like instant success. And it's like if you have one bad year, all of a sudden the AD forgets all the things that you did before that. And I think Mr. Barta has done a really good job at keeping that in perspective and realizing like, okay, like it's college athletics. Like you're going to have good years, you're going to have bad years. So as long as like, and like I would say that my dad, like they had the one bad year where they were 14 and 19. But other than that, like they've been in the hunt for the NCAA tournament every year. So it's like, and he's finished in the top half of the Big Ten, like 9 of the 11 years here and like stuff like that. And it's like the Big Ten's been the best league in the country since he's been here. So it's like a lot of people say like, talk about Iowa football in this regard too, same with basketball, like, oh, well, like Barta's okay with mediocrity. Like the football team going 8-4 is not mediocrity. Like finishing in the top half of the best league in the country, like winning 20 games pretty much every, like that's not mediocrity. So I just think that statement is really ignorant. And so, like, that's kind of something that I think Mr. Barta is able to see and something that I really respect about him, and that he's able to kind of look past that and kind of see the bigger picture, because I feel like that's lost a lot in these days of college athletics.
I agree, and I think even just continuing to look at that bigger picture, like with the brand that Iowa has built on becoming one of the greater for all sports developmental program for athletes, bringing people who aren't necessarily the 4 or 5 stars, bringing in 3 stars maybe, or just people that weren't on anyone's radar, and developing, and like you said, 8-4 with, if you look at like Iowa's roster compared to Mississippi State's that year they played in that Outback Bowl, the amount of stars and high octane recruits that were on Mississippi State compared to Iowa, vast, like night and day. But
yeah,
who won that game? And so I think it really speaks to Iowa and like what they really care about and what that standard is. And it's been a continued standard, and we know like what that standard is, and that's why we've had this, I think, sustained success in all sports, and I'd say a really concrete foundation from a coach's perspective, because they've been here for so long, they've been able to lay that foundation.
Yeah, and I would say something like unless you grow up in Iowa, which like a lot of my teammates have, you don't want to go to Iowa. Like you don't know about Iowa. Like you don't know anything about like unless you grow up in Iowa, you don't really unless you have Iowa ties, or like your pops played here or whatever, your mom played here or stuff like that. Like unless you have Iowa ties, like there's not like no kids want to grow up and play Iowa. But like at the end of the day, like nobody wanted Luka Garza until later in his AAU career, like really late. My dad offered Luka Garza like a year before all the other high majors started looking at him. Nobody wanted Keegan Murray. Like we were his like pretty much like Western Illinois was his only scholarship out of high school. They went to DMV, and I'm pretty sure Iowa was their first scholarship, and they took it because they wanted to go here all the time. So it's like nobody wanted Keegan or Chris Murray. Like Jordan Bohannon, like Drake and you and I pulled both his offers. All he's done is make more threes than anybody to ever play here and have more assists than anybody to ever play here. Nobody wanted Aaron White. Like nobody wanted any of those guys. So it's like nobody really wanted even Devin Marble. Like Michigan State, they both looked over Devin Marble, like all those guys. Whereas like some like people wanted Woodbury and Gasell and stuff like that. So like those situations are a little different. But like a lot of our like really high profile guys, like nobody wanted Peter Jock. Like
no, I lived in the state of Iowa when that whole Peter Jock, when he got hurt and he went from being that top 50 guy to who knows what's going to happen to Peter Jock, and he comes here and blossoms.
If he didn't come to Iowa, he's going to Drake.
Right.
Yeah. If he didn't go to Iowa, he's going to go to Drake. And so it's like those were literally his only 2 options, like Iowa and Drake. And so it's just stuff like that, bro. And it's like I think that's something that's been really undervalued. Like obviously nobody's going to recruit me and Connor because of just like because of who our dad is, whatever. But like, we could keep going down the line of the people that like just wanted like nobody. Like CJ was I think CJ was more heavily recruited than people think. CJ was pretty heavily recruited, but like still, it's not like CJ was heavily recruited, but like it's not like it's hard to compete with those different schools in football. Like Iowa football is the same thing. Like occasionally you'll get somebody like Luka or like Tyler Cook or like somebody that you kind of have to go against like bigger schools for, and you'll get some of those guys, but you won't get some of those guys. And it's like, so it's just like, okay, we need to kind of build up. And like, I think it's cool that basketball and football have the same mindset. It's like kind of, we're able to kind of like, we evaluate, we don't just look at whatever anybody's ranked or whatever. And I think something that also is really important is that something that is our staff really prioritizes is like character. Like you can't be getting in trouble off the court. You can't be doing stuff like that because like otherwise they just won't take you. Like if you're an asshole to your high school coach, your AAU coach, whatever, like they're just not gonna take you. And I think that's something that a lot of coaches like regarding like a certain individual's talent level will kind of look past is like their character. But like here, like and in football too, like it's like I'm not saying that nothing bad has ever happened to like an Iowa athlete, but like it's been very like it's few and far between, especially compared to like other programs, just in terms of the character and everything and all the stuff that goes on here. So that speaks to the coaches, I would say.
Yeah, and going through the list of players and just talking about everything, with all the Iowa sports books focusing on Iowa basketball, do you think this extension, especially with a run in the tournament this year, might silence a lot of the Fran critics that have been all over Twitter, where when things go well, they praise you guys, but kind of ignore giving him some praise. And when things go bad, it's all, on Fran?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I think, like fans, that's a kind of a tricky concept because, like there's fair weather fans in every fan base. It's not like you can't say like Iowa's fan base is like if you win they're gonna love you, if you lose they're gonna hate you. Like that's just kind of how it is. So I feel like, and like there's level-headed fans, there's fans who are more knowledgeable than others. So it's like fans is a tricky concept. But yeah, I mean like at the end of the day though, like the Fran critics or whatever you want to call them, like I would just say that's rooted a lot by ignorance and maybe like they're influenced by like kind of maybe like how intense he is or whatever. But something that I really struggle to kind of understand is how like people will try to downgrade his character or say he's a bad person when like all of his former players, all of his former coaches, everybody who's been around our program and seen him day to day, even the media, like those guys that see him more so than other people, like they know like where his heart is. So it's like they know I mean I'm gonna trust like the guys in our locker room, the guys who interact with him on a daily basis, and the guys who have interacted with him on a daily basis for years, like his former players and his former assistants and whoever, like over just some dude on Twitter sees him scream at somebody or sees a 15-second press clip where maybe he was a little short with the report. Like, I'm just going to always side with those guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up, but like, I just think that those opinions are about 1,000 times more valuable than somebody from the outside. So it's like, I don't really take any of those like into account because like, I mean, he's been in the NCAA tournament, what? Like, this is our 6th time in the tournament since he's been here. And that might not even be counting last year where we would have gotten in, like where we would have been in the tournament. Like, and I think also something like needs to be taken into account is like how far it's came since he's been here. Because like, quite frankly, we were horrible. And like now, like what, we're a 2 seed in the tournament. Like, so it's just like we're the National Player of the Year. So it's just like, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like we're a 2 seed, we're what, 20-7. All of our losses have been pretty close. Like we haven't gotten like so it's just like I don't know, man. It's like hard to really. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling on.
No,
this was a good question.
I went to your Twitter, man, and you kind of like broke your Twitter silence, but you retweeted a tweet from Connor Feinland, and it says almost all former players of Coach McCaffery still watch every one of his Iowa Hoops games. The mark of a coach making a lasting impact, so much more than wins and losses. I think that speaks to everything you've just said.
Yeah, and like so, like, and then Doug Gottlieb tweeted that thread last week. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, so I actually was texting with Doug Gottlieb like about that, and then we just started talking about our team and everything like that. But like another one of it, like a couple of his other former players tweeted like under it. So it's like, and I reached out to one of them who I've like kept in touch with over the years because I've kept in touch with a lot of those guys, and like we follow each other on Instagram and all that type of stuff. and because like at the end of the day, because like my dad gets a lot of heat or whatever, right? Just because of the position that he's in, but like those guys like speaking for him, like is like just kind of makes it all worth it. And like it really like kind of like makes like all the negativity like worth it, because like at the end of the day they know where his heart is, they know like what he's about. So it's like as long as those guys love him, because they get to see him every day, so it's like his players love him, everybody who's worked for him has loved him. So it's like anybody who like thinks that they can speak on him or his character or however, like I mean you can question like the subs or however you want, like the minutes distribution, what play he called, whatever. Although, like, granted, most of those people don't know shit about that, but like that's something that you can question. But like, I don't understand the people who try to question his character and everything like that, because anybody who knows him for real knows like what he's about. So it's like that's something that I've been pretty like passionate on, and I think like with all of his former players speaking out, like it's even more so incredibly just fucking ridiculous that anybody would still say anything like that.
Well, to go off of that too, I want to take another angle on this is, you know, if people want to discount former players or whatever, because they'll be like, oh, he played for him, of course they like him, whatever, is you look at opposing Big Ten coaches and what they say about Fran, or even people who have just faced him and all the praise they give him. Like I say, John Beeline's one of them, where he's on Big Ten Network all the time, just talking about how great of a guy Fran is and how, you know, he really admires, you know, his coaching, but also who he is as a person. And when you see guys who competed against him saying that, I think that even speaks out more than anything else. It's just the respect among his peers.
I definitely agree. Like when you get that respect from your colleagues, because like at the end of the day, like you can sit here and say like, oh, he's a bad coach, whatever, but it's like, who am I going to believe when it comes to basketball intelligence or mindset? Like Hawkeye _46 Hawk fan 12, like on Twitter, or John Beeline, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like it. So it's just like, it's almost like I hate that this is a discussion, but like, I like that you guys brought it up, but like, I hate that it's a discussion, and I hate that people like talk about it because it's so stupid, but like, it's talked about enough to where like it needs, like it should be addressed.
Yeah. And
so I appreciate you guys like giving me the opportunity to talk about that.
Yeah, of course. You know, Jack talked about you hopping on Twitter for a minute, and I, you know, talked to you about this privately, but why did you decide to hop on Twitter? What was,
I was going to ask about that. It had to have felt so fucking sweet just to go on and then be like, BRB, I'm heading back.
Yeah, because you were because you made it very clear to us on and off air that you were, you know, not going to touch Twitter for a while. So I was, you know, when I saw that, I got pretty hyped. I'm not going to lie.
No, bro, I'm not gonna. The Wisconsin game was so fun.
It was awesome.
Like, and not even necessarily like the game itself was really fun, and I felt like I had some moments in the game where I did some cool stuff, and like it was the first time we had like we had a decent amount of fans there, bro. So like that was like, and so it's like we've had games and stuff where I've played well, but it's like we haven't had it in front of like in the magnitude that we had it there, and it's like a big game, like. Anytime you beat Wisconsin, like that's fun because like they have a great program, obviously. And then like we were running back in the tunnel, and all of the Iowa fans, like because they were like socially distanced like throughout the arena, but they all came in like over the tunnel, so all of them are screaming like Hawkeye Elvis is up there going like this, like my uncle's up there screaming his ass off, so everybody's doing stuff like that. So it's like that makes it like so much more enjoyable and so fun, bro. And because it's like I'd forgotten like the fan presence like in college basketball, and that was something that was so great to have back. And then like we're all having fun in the locker room, and like it was just a great night. So it's like that's something that like I just kind of wanted to hop on and just say like I said like that was really fun, like that was so fun. So it's like because it was, and I wanted people to know that, and I wanted to know that like I really appreciated like the support that they gave us and everything like that, because it was awesome, bro. It was one of the best nights of my life, and like we're dancing in the locker room doing all that type of stuff. So it's like it was super fun, bro.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, one thing that I talked to you about before the game was we were talking about, you know, playing in a football stadium and stuff because you guys were playing Lucas Oil. So what was that like where, you know, obviously like you felt the fan energy and stuff, but it was still like distance away in this huge, you know, stadium. So what was it like to, you know, play in a big football stadium compared to playing even in an NBA arena for a game?
Yeah, no. So, okay. So it's eerily similar to the Carrier Dome. That's the best way I think I could describe it. And we played in the Carrier Dome last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I was kind of familiar with that. Like the Carrier Dome's different and like we would only play there once, but like this place was really like it was pretty much exactly because like they have 2 courts set up, one like for each so they can play more games in the tournament. So it's like we only had like it was like half of it. So like and that's how the Carrier Dome is. Like once the Final Four happens, I think they'll move it more central, so it'll be different. But like this was exactly like the Carrier Dome, and the depth perception I don't think was a super big thing in terms of that, because like if you're shooting from the right corner in the stands like this, it looks like a pretty normal like arena, like that sort of thing. And like the backdrop wasn't super crazy or anything like that, so I thought it was like relatively normal, and it looked a lot like the Carrier Dome, and I would say that's the best way to describe it.
That's sick. And one thing I wanted to ask you is like, with you guys planning to be there hopefully for a long time, but already been there for a little bit now, what have you guys done to like keep it loose and keep it fun? Because obviously you're excited about it. Like you've been dreaming about this. All your teammates have been dreaming about, this moment. This is what you guys have sacrificed for all year to be in this moment. So, how have you guys not let the pressure of trying to win a game get to you guys where it's like, you guys have the goal of winning, you guys want to have fun while doing it? Like, how have you kept it loose?
Well, I would say like we have a lot of like really good personalities on our team. And I would say that starts at the top, like with like Jordan Bohannon, Connor McCaffery, Luka Garza. Like Joe Wieskamp can like leads, but he's more quiet about it. So it's like he's not like super boisterous or whatever. And then like also guys like Austin Ash, Michael Bear, like make things really fun. And we have a nice little mix of like kind of like veteran like experience, and then like also like young guys with like lots of like fun energy. So it's like those 2 things together, I think it makes like a really fun group. And I'm kind of like in the middle. So like that's something that like is I think a really unique perspective for me. So it's like I would just say like we have a lot of really fun personalities on our team that keep things interesting and keep things fun. And like I said, we played the wiffle ball game yesterday. Because at the end of the day, dude, like yeah, we're trying to win, but like it's a game and we're a team. Like we want to be having fun with this, bro. Like because I remember I used to really struggle with like performance anxiety and like stuff like that, like before the season. Like, and I remember my dad just kind of sat me down because he knew that I was like struggling with this or whatever. And he's like, dude, like it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have fun playing the game. And I think that was something that I had lost sight of almost for a little bit of a point there, because like I was just so focused on trying to produce and trying to prove everybody wrong and trying to do what I can. But it's like, I'm supposed to have fun with it, bro. And so like I think that's something that we've able to been kind of keep in our sights, because it's like at the end of the day, man, like it's a game. Like this is the best time of our lives. So it's like we gotta make the most of it, and we gotta have fun with it. Obviously we're gonna win. We're competitive as hell, every single one of us. And we're gonna try to do our best, and we're gonna make sure we prepare ourselves in a way to where we can like do what we are capable of doing. But it's also something that it's like we're in college, and we also need to kind of keep it lighthearted at times too, and have fun with it, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, one person I thought of when you were just saying that was I was thinking about LeBron after his first season with the Heat, where he played angry that whole year, just trying to prove everybody wrong, came up short. Exactly. And then when he just let it go and was like, hey, I'm just going to have fun. We're going to ball out. We're going to try to win a championship. He produced.
Yeah, no, exactly. Then they started winning, because you just put so much pressure on yourself, bro. So it's just like you just need to kind of like that's kind of something that I've always struggled with. But it's like it's a game, dude. Like I've been playing this game my whole life. Like it's just like that's why it's like I just go out there and I just play. Like I've played thousands of basketball games throughout my life. It's just like you can't treat anyone any different, no matter if I'm playing in a football stadium or playing in our practice gym or playing in whatever. But it's like I'm playing the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament, the Final Four, whatever. They just kind of just go out there and play basketball, man. It's just like it's a game. It's supposed to be fun for us.
My final question for you is, what should Hawks fans be excited about with the next few weeks ahead, or just the next game ahead if we're going game by game? Like, what should Hawks fans be talking about, be hyped about, just with, us being a 2 seed going into March Madness?
I would just say like this is like not to toot our own home, but it's like this is like a historic team. Like we've done some stuff that not many people have done like in the history of this university. So I would say mainly just like enjoy the ride, like just like have fun with every second of it, because like Luka Garza, I don't think he's gonna come back next year. Like Jordan Bohannon, I don't think he's gonna come back next year. Like Joe Wieskamp, maybe. I don't know. But it's like those are 3 of the best players in program history. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Like, have fun with it. Instead of always trying to, like, bitch about it and try to, like, find the negatives about everything. So I would just say enjoy the ride. Because that's what we're going to do. Like, we're going to have fun. We're going to play hard. We're going to play smart. We're going to play together. Like, we're going to have fun. I would just say, like, my biggest thing is just enjoy it and stop looking at all the negatives of everything. It's like, oh, well, maybe you should have played this guy more or done this and this. Like, just, like, enjoy it, man. Because at the end of the day, like, this is not a once-in-a-lifetime type team, but it's like this is a really good fucking team that we have to make it some serious noise and something we've been building towards for a little bit here now. So it's like it's something that, like, I would just say enjoy it because you don't know. Like playing in the NCAA tournament is not guaranteed for any team. It's not. Look at Kentucky. Like, look at Duke. They're not playing in the NCAA tournament. Like, it's not guaranteed for any fan base or anybody. So it's like, it's just like take it, like, embrace it, like, have fun with it, just enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're gonna do. Like I said, so it's just like, just have fun with it, man.
One thing I didn't ask you, but I just remembered in this recent game against Illinois, Josh Agundale got in. How fucking excited was everybody about that?
So happy, bro, because, like, we all love it. Like, bro, like, he is one of the funniest people I remember in my life. Like, he's so funny, and he's one of the freshmen that brings that, like, really positive energy and, like, everything like that. So it's like everybody loves Josh, and, like, he's a character and he's really funny. And, like, I remember like when they put him in, we all, like, everybody was gassing him, trying to help him out, give him confidence. And, like, when he played for like 30 seconds, but he played well. He did exactly what he was out there to do. Like, spare Luka for a little bit, like, keep him out of foul trouble for a second, and, like, just go out there and, like, try to slow him down, use your body, use your strength. And he did a great job of that. And I was really happy for him that he was able to come in and produce like that.
No, I want to ask about a moment like that because I just think it's a really wholesome moment for this team, especially to, have really high expectations already coming into this year and to go through how many different, examples of adversity to be in that game against Illinois and have that moment and still everyone's absolutely, like, gassing them up. Like you said, like, that just shows, like, what it really is about, just living in the moment and just making the most of it with your boys. Like, that's really what it is. You won't have, you might not have moments like this ever back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and, like, everybody gets the year back, but we don't know who's coming back next year. Like, I'm coming back. I know that. And I know certain people are coming back, and I know certain people are leaving. So it's like it's our last chance to really do something, like, as a group. So it's like, why wouldn't we want to take advantage of that? Like, these opportunities are limited. So it's like, you want to have fun with it, bro. And I think, like, everybody in our team, like, really loves each other. Like literally. And, like, that's no bullshit, bro. Like, there's no beef on our team. That's something that I think, like, a lot of people, like, kind of is a misconception about college basketball is they think every team is like that. It's not, bro. It's not. Like, not every team is like we're literally, like, we're all attached just like this, bro. It's just like everybody has fun with each other, and, like, we're all just playing, man, and it's just fun, and we're all going to take advantage of this opportunity and try to do what we can with it, and really hope we're able to make some noise for our fans, and more importantly for ourselves.
Oh, amen to that, brother. Well, for everyone listening, we just want to say thank you for coming on. And if we don't talk to you before the first game, kick some fucking ass. As always, not the same time, same place. We will see you guys later.